You're watching Coin TV, Channel 6, Portland, Vancouver.
This is the CBS Evening News. With Dan Rather in Des Moines, Iowa, and Connie Chung in New York.
Good evening. We are live right alongside the still rising Raccoon River, part of the widespread Great Flood of '93. President Clinton was here in Iowa today and could hardly believe his eyes. He said he's seen flooding before, but never this bad. All of Iowa and parts of 4 other states are now officially federal disaster areas. Flooding throughout the Midwest is blamed for at least 21 deaths. More than 35,000 people have been forced to abandon their homes. Damage to homes and crops is in the billions. The most severe damage here in Des Moines is at a plant, one right down the road here, that supplies 250,000 people with fresh water. At least it's supposed to, but it's still out of business. The city did finally catch a break today as the rain demons left Des Moines for a while, but now perhaps you can see they're back. It's sprinkling and the clouds are darkening. As correspondent Scott Pelley reports, no one ever doubted that the rains would be back.
In Iowa today, there are predictions of more heavy rain as residents of the capital city fight to catch up with the Great Flood of '93. Today, they made progress on the water crisis. There is at last enough to drink, with 90 parking lot watering holes pouring 24 hours a day. At the city's crippled water treatment plant, helicopters pulled out the heart of the waterworks, massive pumps knocked out by the flood.
These are 1,750 horsepower electric motors that need to be taken out and cleaned and dried.
If it is that simple, water could be flowing by Sunday, but there is one major worry. It's not at all clear that these pumps can be repaired. They may have been destroyed by the flood. And if that's the case, they will have to be replaced, delaying the plant even longer. The crisis is also a trial by fire. This morning, a suspicious blaze broke out at this printing plant. Without hydrants, all the water came by tanker. These days, sandbags get a police escort as volunteers work to stay ahead of the rivers. So far, they've stopped a second flooding of the water treatment plant. How do you feel when you see those pictures?
I just feel so proud of them. I just feel so proud of them. And I tell my colleagues around the nation about this. And they said, it wouldn't happen here. And I said, this is Iowa. This is what happens in Iowa.
If predictions hold, Iowa will not get much of a break. With more rain coming, there are fears the rivers could rise even higher than last week's records. Scott Pelley, CBS News, Des Moines.
Right here, Des Moines, Sandbag City, President Bill Clinton took his second tour of the Midwest flooding in 10 days. He stopped here in Des Moines on his way home from a shortened Hawaiian vacation to see and be seen. The president helped fill sandbags, described the flood damage as, quote, awful, and he promised the Midwest at least $2.5 billion in federal disaster relief. I walked and talked with the president just before he returned to Washington. Is this going to cost me more in taxes, what's happened here?
No. No, this is a one-shot, one-time expenditure that will slightly increase this year's deficit. But this year's deficit will still be much smaller than we thought it was going to be in January. So we can manage it. And again, I think most Americans know that something like this could happen to them. And if it happened and nobody was at fault, I think they want their country to rally around. We're not going to make them, the United States government is not going to make up 100% of the losses, but we can do a lot, and I think we should. And I think it is in our interest to do it. We want these people back in business. We want these farmers working again. We want them able to make a productive living. And all of us benefit. When there's a bigger farm income in Iowa, the rest of us benefit. And when there's a vibrant small business community, the rest of us benefit. So I think, I believe the American people will want us to help, and I'm going to do my best.
Tomorrow afternoon, President Clinton will meet with congressional leaders at the White House to discuss increased federal aid for flooded areas, more than $2 billion. Let's check in live with our chief Washington correspondent, Bob Schieffer, for a quick reality check. Bob, is Congress going to play ball with the president on this?
Absolutely, Dan. Both the Republican and Democratic leadership here at the Capitol say they'll do whatever is necessary. They're ready to go along with whatever the president asks. You might ask, well, I thought it was against the law to appropriate new funds for programs unless you cut back on other government programs. That is the law, but there's a loophole. By declaring an emergency It clears the way for the Congress to do whatever needs to be done. Where does the money come from? It will have to be borrowed. The majority of it, that's what you heard the president just now saying, the deficit was going to go up slightly. That's because the government has to borrow the money. But this is a case like when a family's roof falls in. It doesn't make any difference how many bills you have. You just have to go out and borrow some more money to fix the roof. That's the case here. The president will get 100% cooperation.
Bob Schieffer, thanks. By the way, on 48 Hours tonight, we'll talk to the president further about are there any limits to federal aid in these situations. The flooding here in the Midwest has destroyed millions of dollars worth of crops, and many farmers are counting on you, the taxpayers, for help. Money correspondent Ray Brady explains why in tonight's CBS Evening News Reality Check.
You look at these flooded farmlands and you say to yourself, they're sure to have insurance. After all, some of them even farm where flooding can be a risk. Time out. Comparatively few of these farms have insurance, even though farmers can get it cheap.
Farmers can get crop insurance from the Agriculture Department to help in catastrophes like this, but less than a third of all eligible farm acres are covered by it. That's because, according to critics, farmers say, why should I pay for insurance? The government's sure to bail me out.
Even farmers who do have government insurance don't like it.
It ain't really that good, but it does help pay some of the expenses, you know, and I guess if it would pay better, I think they would have, more farmers would have it.
Farmers say it doesn't pay at all unless the crop's in before the floods hit.
I had federal crop insurance 1 year, and it wasn't very good coverage. And since then, I've analyzed my operation. If I would have had crop insurance this year, I wouldn't have collected a dime.
So we've got to make changes in this program so that, in fact, we get the overwhelming majority of our farmers in it and our farmers protected.
Estimates are crop losses could reach as much as $2 to $3 billion. But if farmers without insurance think the government will pick up the whole bill, they should take time out. The record shows uninsured farmers could get as little as 25 cents in disaster relief for every dollar lost. But those with insurance could get 65 cents for every dollar lost. So crop insurance might have been worth it after all. Ray Brady, CBS News, New York.
It's hard for us to convey what a wide area is affected by these floods. Des Moines is not the only community reeling from this onslaught of water. When we return, we'll take you to see the residents of one town who lost the fight at the crest of the Mississippi and battling to save a piece of history in a small town south of St. Louis.
If you have common arthritis, you might be surprised to learn what doctors recommend for the pain. It's not just aspirin or ibuprofen. Those days are gone. Today, doctors are recommending Tylenol more and more for common arthritis pain. They know Tylenol gives you powerful pain relief, and just as important, doctors know Tylenol won't irritate your stomach the way ibuprofen can. Talk to your doctor about extra-strength Tylenol. Arthritis pain relief from the name you trust.
We could spend all day here.
What if my diarrhea comes back?
You took my Imodium AD caplet.
Imodium AD caplets often work in one dose, unlike the old standby.
Ready?
Before the sun sets?
Imodium AD, the choice for one-dose relief.
More and more people are turning to Imodium AD caplets because Imodium AD relieves diarrhea better than other brands, and it's the first caplet to stop diarrhea, often in one dose. Imodium AD caplets, the original prescription for one-dose relief.
Back now live in Des Moines, Iowa. The Mississippi River is cresting tonight around Quincy, Illinois, about 13 feet over flood stage. The giant river is flowing there 7 times faster than normal, and get this, the Mississippi there is flowing 3 times as fast as Niagara Falls. As CBS This Morning anchorman Harry Smith reports, it's more than some levees can stand.
The Mississippi River dropped several inches near Quincy, Illinois today. Sandbaggers felt a slight sense of relief, but they knew their good fortune came at a mighty cost. One levee above and another below Quincy collapsed in the last 24 hours, each creating its own 10,000-acre lake.
Yesterday, the folks who live here probably thought all the hard work on the levee was going to pay off. All the hard work was going to save their farm. It's almost like a graveyard here now.
But the farmers we talked with want no sympathy.
Well, I think there's been a lot of tragedy here, a lot of dollars lost, a lot of homes, property, but I think the main thing is we're all alive. To my knowledge, no one in this area has lost their life, and there's been a lot of people that's taken a lot of risks to save our lives and our property. And I think the most important thing is everyone got out safely, and we'll be back here when this recedes.
James, you lost 700 acres down here.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna come back?
Sure. Best place in the world to farm. Wonderful dirt. Definitely be back.
Back in town, volunteers are filling more than 150,000 sandbags a day. Other levees can still be saved. It's hard to imagine a disaster like this not breaking your heart. But around Quincy, folks have refused to allow the river to break their spirit. Harry Smith, CBS News, Quincy, Illinois.
The battle against the monstrous Big Mississippi is being fought along tributaries and in towns all over the upper Midwest. In one town, it has literally become a battle of historic proportions. Correspondent Vicki Mabry reports from St. Genevieve, Missouri.
Picturesque St. Genevieve looks today like a military base with more than 200 Missouri National Guardsmen and their equipment helping to raise the city's series of small levees. Reservist Kevin Roney came to work even though his wife is about to have a baby.
I don't think my pride would let me stay home when all these other guys are down here working.
This small town, 55 miles south of St. Louis, was the first European settlement west of the Mississippi. Today, some residents still live and work in the town's original homes, built during the mid-1700s. But the Mississippi threatens. 170 families have been evacuated, and the town is trying to save its heritage.
We have something here that's important, not just for St. Genevieve, but it's important for the United States.
This levee behind me is all that stands between the floodwaters and some of St. Genevieve's historic homes. If that levee goes, those houses could be in water up to here.
They don't know how to spell lose. All they know is how to say win. We're going to beat it.
St. Genevieve is winning with the help of volunteers like Al Donzi, an insurance agent who's now supervising the levee buildup 18 hours a day.
The river was coming and we got to hold it out, and the only way you hold it out is build a levee, so that's what we're doing.
Plans for a big levee to protect the entire city have been around for years, but it's never been built because St. Genevieve can't afford it.
We have 4,500 people population, and we have to have $10 million to get into the ball game.
The city was declared a disaster area last weekend. Now it works round the clock trying to preserve its history with 40,000 tons of rock, 10,000 tons of sand, and volunteers of all ages.
Makes me feel very happy.
This old city today is counting on 50,000 tons of earth to keep its history from washing away. Vicki Mabry, CBS News, St. Genevieve, Missouri.
Behind me, the back-breaking, hand-blistering work of trying to shore up the levees goes on into another gloomy, rainy night. It's beginning to rain again. More rain is in the forecast through Saturday. I'll be back later in the broadcast with more on the defense of Des Moines. Connie?
Thanks, Dan. Stay with us now for much more CBS Evening News, including the logistical nightmare of keeping the nation's economy on track in the middle of a disaster.
Does it seem like your body's playing by a whole new set of rules?
As a kid, I'd naturally burn off anything I ate. Now, I ride bikes that don't go anywhere.
When the rules change, count on Total's nutrition.
Now I try to make the most of what I eat. So I switched from my old cereal to whole grain Total. A whole day's worth of 12 vitamins and minerals in just 100 calories. No cereal beats that. So I'm eating better. And now, I'm getting somewhere.
When the rules change, count on Total's nutrition.
Hey, you know what they're doing in there? Red Lobster's got this enormous shrimp platter. You get to mix and match 30 shrimp for just $9.99. Choose a combination of grilled shrimp, fried shrimp, or scampi. Mix and match 30 shrimp. Now, only at Red Lobster.
At Ford Motor Company, quality is more than just the way a car is built. It's the design of the instrument panel, the richness of the finish, the turn of a wheel, the safety of a loved one. It's the way your car or truck makes you feel. For us, our commitment to quality is an obsession.
And it's paying off. 5 of the 10 best-selling vehicles in America are built by Ford Motor Company.
Ford Motor Company, quality is job one. It's working.
When I get gas, I may look like this, but I feel like this, painfully bloated with gas.
Gas-X has the power to relieve gas faster than antacids.
So I feel like me again.
Painful gas needs the power of Gas-X.
The struggle against floods in the Midwest and a killer heat wave in the east. Blood, sweat, and tears. Dan Rather reports on an all-new 48 Hours tonight.
Consumer prices went up not at all last month, beating back fears that inflation might be on the move again. The key factor, a drop in the price of fruits and vegetables. But the current floods in the Midwest could drive food prices up again soon. The water has destroyed $2 billion in crops. And as Jim Stewart reports, it's also disrupting the nation's food chain.
In California, they're loading up potatoes for the stores back east. But getting them there may be quite a trick.
These are perishable products, and the potential dollar loss here could be fairly dramatic.
At this command post in Omaha, a map of the nation's rail lines is starting to resemble a weird jigsaw puzzle as dispatchers figure a way to beat the Midwest floods before America's transcontinental commerce grinds to a halt.
Main track, out of service. We've got water coming up in the yard at Jefferson City, tree across the main line at milepost 58.
Railroad Association President Ed Harper says up to 100 trains a day are being rerouted.
So basically, if you want to get around the floodplain, you're going to have to detour well north and south.
That's correct. We can go Chicago, St. Louis, over to Kansas City, south of the Missouri River.
The flooding has essentially driven a wedge through the heart of the country's rail and trucking routes. First, slicing key railway lines inside the triangle of St. Louis, St. Joe, and Davenport, and now leaving truckers just 3 major routes over the Mississippi.
We can't cross the Mississippi River anywhere between St. Louis and Davenport, Iowa. We have to kind of go around.
With barge traffic already at a standstill and the rail lines starting to get congested, truckers are picking up some of the slack, but at the cost of added hours, more fuel, and long delays. Railway and trucking officials say they're giving their top priority to perishable food items, followed by factory parts for assembly lines. Meaning that so far the flood hasn't had much impact on consumers, but that could change.
It affects not only roads, but it affects jobs in manufacturing all throughout the economy.
And it's turned the job of getting much of the nation's food to the table into a logistical nightmare. Jim Stewart, CBS News, Washington.
We have an update tonight on a recent Eye on America about a Texas teenager found guilty of murder for shooting a police officer to death during a routine traffic stop. 19-year-old Ronald Ray Howard argued he should not get the death penalty because he had been driven to violence by hardcore rap music. Today, a jury in Austin, Texas, rejected Howard's argument and sentenced him to death. Still to come on the CBS Evening News, fighting for survival in Sarajevo, using whatever is available.
When was the last time you had an irresistible hot fudge sundae? Or a fantabulous banana split? Pick any of our 30 wonderful flavors. And don't forget the nut. Come on, get that 30 wonderful feeling.
I really didn't want my husband to color his gray hair.
But then I discovered this, the hair coloring called Just for Men.
And now he looks better than ever.
Simply apply Just for Men, and in 5 minutes, rinse. Just for Men blends away the gray for a totally natural look. No wonder 8 out of 10 wives of Just for Men users prefer it to the gray look.
It's like you took off 10 years.
And in just 5 minutes.
Just for Men. She'll love the way you look.
A night for Excedrin PM.
Daddy said I can.
You're late.
My head aches and I can't sleep.
Excedrin PM. Headache medicine, plus it helps you sleep. And rest assured it's aspirin-free.
A woman is different than a man. Her system is 3 times as likely to become irregular, and harsh laxatives can upset her. Correctol is the gentle laxative made especially for women. Its special formula combines a mild laxative with a softener, so it works gently, predictably, overnight.
No wonder more women trust their systems to it.
Correctol, the woman's gentle laxative. You can trust it. Now also in new easy-to-swallow caplets.
Women and Healthcare. Are you making the right decisions? And the latest on the Midwest floods. Tomorrow on CBS This Morning with Harry Smith live from the flood area, and Paul is on.
Mexico said tonight it will take in several hundred Chinese boat people and immediately send them back to China. The refugees are aboard 3 ships intercepted last week by the U.S. Coast Guard off the coast of Mexico. A Mexican spokesman said the ships could enter Mexican waters, but none of the people would be allowed to stay. Mexico says it will pay the cost of shipping them back home. President Clinton was reportedly upset by TV reports from Sarajevo this week, and his aides are planning possible emergency action to help the people there. Under siege by Serbian forces, most of the Bosnian capital has been without electricity or water for weeks. Correspondent Bob Simon is in Sarajevo.
In Sarajevo today, they were working on the railroad. The trains aren't running, of course, haven't been since the blockade began 15 months ago. These men are digging up the wooden cross ties for fuel. In other parts of town today, people were attacking tree stumps and picking up twigs. The Serb siege has turned hundreds of thousands of sophisticated city dwellers into scavengers. You can't find a square foot of anything anymore that's not been turned into a vegetable patch. Every balcony now makes food.
I was a lawyer before, and now I'm balcony farmer.
And when there seems to be the slightest lull in the shelling, everyone goes water shopping. There's been no running water in most parts of town for 5 weeks now. Everything with wheels has been mobilized to work the city's wells, which engineers believe are becoming contaminated with sewage. This plant provides fuel for Sarajevo's only resource, its 300,000 people. It is the bakery, the most strategic building in town, and has been shut down now since the 2nd of July. That's because there's no power. There are 100 tons of diesel sitting just outside town, but the Serbs won't let it in. In fact, people here believe the Serbs have gotten the message that they can get away with anything at all.
Because the world said, we are not going to stop you. I remember international community claiming that they'll never recognize the territorial gains. Now they are ready to give them as a gift the entire state.
But what people complain about more than anything else is the loss of dignity they have suffered. It's not a noble struggle anymore, they say, but a dirty, demeaning battle for bread and water, a war which cannot be won and which they're afraid may never end. Bob Simon, CBS News, Sarajevo.
In Somalia, the UN peacekeeping mission is under growing pressure tonight from its enemies in that country and from division in its own ranks. Muslim radicals in Mogadishu are threatening to attack U.S. troops, and other countries in the 29-nation force are getting cold feet now that the peacekeeping mission looks more and more like a war. Italy said today it wants to pull its 2,600 troops out of Mogadishu because of the rising violence. This came after U.S. troops and aircraft led a strike this week against fugitive warlord Mohammed Aidid. And Aidid's followers responded with a mob attack that killed 4 foreign journalists. In Washington, Senator Robert Byrd became the first leading American politician to call for U.S. troops to get out of Somalia.
The humanitarian relief mission is over. The mission for us, it seems, is accomplished. It's time to go.
Byrd said the Senate had not approved a police action against Somali warlords. But in Mogadishu, the American commander of UN forces said he is committed to disarming the Somali factions and bringing General Aidid to justice. Still ahead on the CBS Evening News, we return to Des Moines and some closing thoughts from Dan on the human effort to hold back the rivers.
Today, Dave Ryan will understand the benefits of a little extra protection. Today, Brady Blackwell will come to appreciate a shatter-resistant shampoo bottle. Today, for the first time in years, Sheila Connor's grandpa will be able to walk with less pain. Today will be a better day for a lot of people, simply because of a material we call plastic.
So you want me to grade these? You sure? Just plain plates. I don't think you want me to do that. Try them. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. These are good. You know, they're simple, and they're crispy. Hey, I like them plain.
Kellogg's Corn Flakes.
Kellogg's Corn Flakes. I almost flunked Kellogg's Corn Flakes.
Taste them again for the first time.
Look out, America. The Choiceosaurus Sweepstakes is here. You could win $1 million or one of 7 $50,000 cash prizes. Pick up an entry form at any Quality, Comfort, Clarion, or Sleep Hotel, and you could be a winner, too.
We just won $50,000. Thanks, Comfort Inn.
The $1 million prize is still at large. Will Choiceosaurus bring it to you? Call 1-800-4CHOICE because offers like this happen once every 60 million years.
Oh, my back hurts and I had a game this afternoon, so I'm taking Advil. More doctors recommend Advil by name to relieve backaches than any other brand. With Advil, a sore back won't keep me from swinging. Advil, advanced medicine for pain.
Day after day, you make those glasses of thick Metamucil disappear. Why not make them all disappear with Fibercon? Doctor-recommended Fibercon gives you the same fiber regularity in tablets.
Easy to swallow tablets.
Get doctor-recommended Fibercon.
More than water, more than crops, the story of the great floods of '93 is really about people. Let's go back to Des Moines now and get some closing thoughts from Dan Rather. Dan?
The single most impressive thing that I've seen here over the last few days, and we've seen some incredible things, is how many people are pulling together to fight the river. Men, women, children, all side by side, working very hard, manual labor.
Iowa people, we've seen it all, and this is just another example of family and farm community and good, honest people helping out other people.
Today is my day off. I'm a dentist, and I decided that, hey, she convinced me to come out and do it.
You say you had everything you've needed for a long time. Do you have some sense you were getting soft and a little fragile?
Oh, definitely. I mean, this is different for me. Not having water, not having, we were out with electricity for a while, and not being able to take a shower. It gives you a sense of like, hey, maybe I've had it too easy. I didn't realize the devastation until I came down here today and saw it.
We live about 40 miles west of Des Moines, and we didn't get really flooded bad. We got a lot of water, but we didn't have the disaster Des Moines did, so we thought we could help out for a couple of days.
It's something you have to do. You don't even think about it. Blisters and all, nails, you leave it all behind, and it's something you have to do.
I got here yesterday for 6 hours, and I'm pretty sore today. So, been out here today, but I think it's great.
How many in the bag? 3, 2.
Okay.
Hey, that could just be hard work. Why did you come out here?
Hey, Logan, work done.
People need help.
Can I go back down there?
And I want water to take a shower.
We'll have more about it as part of our live CBS News coverage tonight on 48 Hours at 10, 9 Central Time.
Thanks, Dan. Harry Smith will have the very latest on the flooding live from the Midwest tomorrow on CBS This Morning. And we'll be back with a complete update tomorrow night. Thank you for joining us, and for Dan and all of us at CBS News. Have a good night.